ground, but the mind's online. Circuits breathe where the forests shine. Till it streams through the rivers wide. Nature coded the future alive.
Misses the J after tricking the D with the nifty pass. Oh, and there's the alley-oop.
MOTHS Genesis, I mean, that's enough for them to back off the high ground almost entirely there. Mori sees free real estate, or what at least she thought was free, in Paul, but will be quick to get out of danger, and the rest of the team can start to relocate over towards this high ground. Eventually, though, the Widowmaker goes down, Bionate onto EXO SAKURA, but no one can follow up on it. They're so focused on what Mori is doing for their own backline, they can't complete the counter dive. It's not necessarily needed. Zoe will end up getting caught out. Has been going on some solo adventures away from Mori, so MOTHS Genesis. Work on punishing that accordingly. Cassidy, though, is finally within range, and then it really starts to hurt. Deadeye Kuna zoning him out. The Nano comes in just in time to keep Amity's health bar in a stable spot. That could not have been more frame perfect out of Juno. My goodness. And it's even enough for her to get the Primal Rage online. Kuna is just going to be squished into a pancake. It's the work of these supports. If you don't kill Juno, the rest of the team, there's no chance MOTHS Genesis are going down.
Yeah, nobody pressured Juno in April on high ground. They just sat up there. Both of them were like, hey, we can just heal our tank in the back line, and there was nothing that either of them faced pressure from. Each of them were like, hey, we're just going to chill. And yes, there's a few ultimates. You still have Rally, though, from April. She has that almost lined up. Paul has the Infrasight to start this fight. Yes, it's been a little rough for Jeremy, I think, for this final phase. At the end of this first phase, it'll just be cart pressure more than anything else. But with just less than 90 seconds left, so far, so good. If you are MOTHS Genesis on your map pick.
Yeah, but this is where high ground starts to get pressure. Jeremy, bodyguard the support, pulls bomb. That's a throw and a half out of Zoe. Paul was blown to smithereens. The rally couldn't even come out in time. We sleep dart onto Mori to give the supports a little bit of breathing room and hope for some reinforcements. But with your main tank dead here, there's not much hope for stabilizing on this objective with the sheer amount of pressure that is on this payload. And yeah, EXO SAKURA, they're going to manage to roll it in here. These nades from Proto have been fantastic.
They've been phenomenal, and obviously we were talking a lot about Juno going into this, like, hey, she's one of the best honors we have in calling out heroes right now. Could be a very big win condition. But Proto's like, I'm still here. Like, I'm very much still here. And some fantastic nades are there, creating just a ton of space, giving Mari and Zoe a lot of opportunities to capitalize as well on some of these long-range nades, and already fighting for ship control. Mari, look at her. She's just already here. Right
again!
Oh my god.
Proto, that was a beautiful. It sneaks right around April's shield, snags Paul too. Fantastic gameplay. Mori happy to follow up on all the work that Proto does. I mean, this is also the thing with Like, this is the one thing Jeremy can do. It's just be annoying like that.
It just stole out the car just a little bit, but you could tell even Mari was like, okay, come on. Like, just get out of the crowd. Let's just get this over with already. Kuna will have the Deadeye just to kind of slow this play down, and they're already on top of the ship, so it'll be up to Amity to really put some pressure on it. Another nade!
3-person bio nade. Proto, like, just sign them to the MLB or something already. Like, this is nuts out of her. I mean, EXO SAKURA, they're just winning fight after fight solely because of the setup that their on a player has. I mean, that's point too.
Proto is the MVP of this map so far. Like, just very easily. Like, it's not even a negotiation. They have just done a fantastic job of setting almost every single fight so far. There's been one by EXO SAKURA, has been set up by the Ana. And now they already have Nano online, still both DPS ults to work with as well. But if MOTHS just want to get back into this, maybe it's the Nano from Juno on Amity to put some pressure on Proto.
Oh, but Zoe, yet another stick from the pulse bomb. It's not the nade sticking. It's a little explosive out of the back pocket. The bio nade, yeah, it's good from Juno, but the nano boost, and it's barely a blink in the eye from EXO SAKURA. Not too concerned about that positioning at all. The payload already up that hill, which proves to be very challenging. EXO SAKURA, they're at a point where you're basically going to get spawn held now. Paul has not been able to get anything done after those first couple picks on the primary objective, and they're struggling to get their feet back under them. EXO SAKURA, it's been all gas, no brakes. Jeremy about to face a devastating fate here, but no, Kuna drops the Deadeye just at the right time. Goodbye to the venture. And MOTHS Genesis, how do you get yourself back in this? The bio nade, yeah, that's a nice start, but the Cassidy is completely zoned out. Paul's turn now, drops the Deadeye, barely hangs on to life, and even snags Regime. The aggressive shield bash attempting to cancel it out. Third pulse bomb from Zoe. That one won't quite find its mark, but the damage has been done. Support's ripped out from underneath Moth's Genesis, but these couple of picks that they can get here and there buy them a chance at stalling. Jeremy returns and be underground for, well, I'd say as long as they need, but it's really only a couple more seconds, and it doesn't matter. Kuna's train has already left the station and taking player after player down with him. EXO SAKURA, they just snowballed through the entire map of Watchpoint Gibraltar once they got over that first hurdle.
It's the Proto show. Like,
Literally.
I'm just as you're going through. I'm watching. Nade kill. Nade kill. Nade kill. It's just the fact that it's so coordinated, and one of the big things that you and I have both kind of been critical about EXO SAKURA and even Regime when we talked to them last week was like, this has not been their best event overall. Like Swiss stage, they had their bumps. They weren't really feeling like they were clicking on all cylinders. This is the scary EXO SAKURA. Like, this is a very scary team when Proto is playing like this, and Zoe and Mario are both just so on it. Like, as soon as the nade goes down, there's an instant pressure. There's an instant punish. And there was just nothing Moth's Genesis could do. Like, it was time after time. Let's see the assists here. Oh my, 18 assists. They have 18 assists. That is unreal from the Ana. 12 kills. It's just unbelievable pace they're playing at right now. And I feel bad for Moth's Genesis. They go for the venture, which honestly, it saved them maybe 20, 30 seconds on this time bank. It could be way uglier if Jeremy was not able to stall out the cart for as long as they did. But there was just no pressure on to Proto whatsoever, because also the counter dive from Zoe and Kuna just being able to sit and back was such a benefit. And now they're just going to run the same thing on the defense, and let's see what Moth's Genesis can cook up after a very rough beginning of the second map.
Like, EXO SAKURA, they were in charge of the tempo the entire time. Like, Moth's Genesis, after they lost that first fight, never had a chance to regain their footing. They could never stage for a dive properly. At least on the attack, you got a little bit more time to do it. Avidity, though, gets jump scared around the corner, but for the sacrifice of Kuna's life, doesn't fully respect Paul's sightlines there. Well, you have to argue, being down a Winston, much worse than being down a Cassidy. Should at least force EXO SAKURA back a little bit further, and Moth's Genesis can start to force the game.
And obviously they also have the spawn way closer for Amity, just to kind of push back on in, but it's not like this fight's over at all. Zoe just trying to be a little bit of a nuisance, just fighting around, and even though Proto is in such a great spot, no pressure yet, but you can tell Moth's Genesis, they're trying to find that way in.
The nade was there, it ended up colliding with the shield of April. It's starting to Amity, though. Doesn't result in too much other than make sure, oh, Mari, no! Gets a shot in the butt by Paul from across the map there. Yeah, no, not able to jump out of that one. Proto in a bit of danger themselves. Well, can't exactly outlast a Winston, or maybe so. We're taking so much time to stagger it out. It's actually worse for EXO SAKURA in the long run, but it was funny while I watched. Well, last week.
I respect it. I respect the commitment. Like, hey, like, you have to actually put an effort to kill me. I'm not just gonna lay over and let you die and let myself die. So the rest of their team can really get pushing here. Amity's got to be careful though, but Juno does have the nano. God forbid, and that might already pushing it.
Coming out, yeah. And that's big. We needed to see how Moth's Genesis take this practice measure, especially because that was like 40% lead on the nano boost out of Moth's Genesis. So showing the work that Juno is putting in. Bionade there as well, and the EXO SAKURA now struggling to get themselves back toward the point. Kuna's Deadeye, an attempt to buy the space, but I mean, they're just beaten to a corner by the monkey fist of Amity, and there you go. Primal Rage turns into Blender, and a triple kill for the tank. I mean, this is Moth's Genesis. They get full control of Spaceship just off of that.
That's a perfect first phase if you're Moth's Genesis. It gives you a lot of time. Obviously, you don't need to, cap this in world record time by any stretch, but you want to at least have some time to work with if you were able to complete it, but that was just a great job of, hey, putting some pressure and taking advantage of the range difference they have right now. Kuna staying on the Cassidy. Yes, it's helping a little bit with Jeremy on these dives, but it's really allowing Paul to take advantage of these long sight lines.
That was a nade
Just like
on the
that.
Kuno. It was a nade too. It forced Kuna out of position. Poor Paul wanted to see it. And not to mention the fact, I think Jeremy just feels so much more comfortable taking these Tracer 1v1 against Zoe. And I mean, we can see the result of it right there with the Pulse Bomb stick 2. Very hard to do, by the way. MOTHS Genesis, I mean, this is smooth sailing so far. They just couldn't make it happen on the defense, but they're doing the same thing that EXO SAKURA did to them, not letting them regain footing, pulling them apart one by one, and it's all Paul doing it.
Yeah, Paul is like, okay, I'm a little more comfortable now in this. It's not quite capped yet. Mari's actually, they're committed to this. They have Rally and Primal popped.
I mean, Regime's not really going to last long at all. It was more so to buy time on the payload so you can have your tank leave point, and Kuna and Zoe are now back into this fight. Unless we see Paul pop off like crazy, currently shooting the toes of Zoe under the payload, like, this should just be a reset out of MOTHS Genesis.
Yep. And you obviously wish you could have capped that if you're MOTHS Genesis, because it gives you way more time, but now you get into the tricky spot of EXO SAKURA can really spread the field here. They could have Mari playing in ship. They can have Zoe going on her own side missions, and it's going to be a little bit more tricky now that it's not MOTHS Genesis deciding the pace of these fights as much for Paul to really find some of these sight lines. But the Impresight, it's a little bit of a help.
Yeah, no surprises. At least the jump scares shouldn't be happening. Unless you are a lonely brig, I don't think they know that Paul's up there. Oh, the shot, though, will go ahead and give away their positioning. Mari not in the healthiest spot. Neither's the rest of the team. Now the Bio Nade on to 2. There's a midi. The collapse right on top of it. The synergy between Juno, we know how good she's been on this so far, but how about Amity on this Winston? Another Primal Rage that is proving to do wonders within this map, and go ahead and likely secure MOTHS Genesis this point to clean out Mari. Oh, Pulse Bomb.
Oh,
That's sketchy.
Pulse
That got
Bomb.
real sketchy.
Yeah, it breaks April's shield, but overall not doing too much more. As yeah, they'll be able to lock it.
Oh, but there's a nade. They're committing to the nano boost. Krona's back. They're trying to be the hero of this fight, and that might be exactly what ends up happening. The nano boost had to be forced out of Juno just out of fear. It got a little sketchy for MOTHS Genesis there at the last second. It forced a couple of ultimates, but at the end of the day, they'll end up working towards the 3rd point.
Yeah, I credit to EXO SAKURA drawing a few more ults. I thought that fight was done. I won't lie, Molly. I thought it was done. It was going to be capped, but they extended out just a little bit longer. Paul's still running the Widowmaker here. Kuna's still on the Cassidy. So going into this final phase, I think, yes, even though it's a little harder on paper for Amity, they've been doing a fantastic job. Just trying to, honestly, getting more even on this Winston duel, but that's Paul gets caught.
Yeah, and it's kind of the issue of playing the Widowmaker. If you overstep your bounds even the slightest, expect to get sat on by a Winston named Mari. And yeah, this is kind of where we see EXO SAKURA succeed. It's when they have this preemptive staging.
Yeah, now they can really just, hey, we're just going to hold you as a choke. We're not like going to let you set up. We're not going to let Paul to kind of find the spot that, you know, they really want. We're going to get up in your face. We're going to make sure that we have all the variables in our control, but Jeremy will be looking with this Pulse Bomb to try and disrupt just something that they can find from this dangerous game.
What? Where is she going?
I don't know.
All right, you know, she was in there. Thankfully, Zoe does trade it out for April, so you're not nearly as frustrated with your flex support as you probably would have been, but little short on that one, Mari. Oh no, the Juno jumped right down and Mari was waiting. No, it was like a 5-head play. Mari saw into the future, knew that Juno would drop. Fantastic lead. I mean, MOTHS Genesis, they're still pushing the payload throughout all of this. Without Juno, though, it really shouldn't be lasting that long.
No, they at least have April here, so April can kind of just try and keep everybody up, play a little more passes. Impresight will just try and buy time for Juno to get back into the fight, but now with a Winston in her face, turning into more of a survival tactic.
Well, you got the help of Juno, who recently returned from the dead. Kuna, though, the dead in the back. Amity could care less about the dead op. Straight up just goes after Kuna. That's another triple kill for Amity. She simply cannot be stopped on this Winston. MOTHS Genesis, they picked this map, yes, for Juno, who's fantastic on the on-off, but also for Amity to play her best hero.
Yeah, Amity just popping off another 3K with the Primal. The juggles have been great, but now final touches coming here potentially from EXO SAKURA. Nana already gone.
And it's Nano Boost. They're attempting to take over Regime out of the own ultimate. That's what will happen. Kuna, though, gets it on of it, but no! The touch doesn't happen. They were